This Bubba Exotic Motorsports production is brought to you in part by Blog Talk Radio, host of our #1 rated internationally syndicated automotive podcast as heard on the Bubba's Motorsports Network, and by Schumacher Chevrolet, SchumacherAuto.com, Schumacher.com, SchumacherAuto.com, and finally by Robertson Racing LLC.com, RobertsonRacingLLC.com. Visit them for all your lubricant needs. Good morning, everybody. We're coming to you live from inside the main facility here at Bubba's Exotic Motorsports in the world-renowned Woodward Fabrication Taylor. How you doing this morning, Bub?
Man, I'm doing really good so far. I'm just, holding this big black shaft in my hand here.
What is that big black shaft you're holding?
This is actually a very, very beautifully tuned, well-designed, and well-built coil strut assembly that's going to go in this 2004 Jag we discussed 2 days ago.
And Bub, we're going to jump right on that, man. Welcome to everybody. Thanks for joining us here on Friday morning. We're sure glad you're with us. Bub, we started suspension. Suspension's done Bubba style. If you go to bubbasexoticmotorsports.com, you'll see that video 2 days ago.
Yep.
And we talked a little bit about a company called Unity. Unity is a very, very high-end suspension company.
Yep.
And if you go to unityap.com, you'll see their stuff, okay? And I showed you a little bit about their catalogs and things like that. Mm-hmm. And our particular vehicle was a 2004 Jaguar XJR, which is the race or supercharged edition, 400 horsepower, factory horsepower car.
Which, by the way, keep in mind, that was really good for that time. I mean, you think 2004, there were only so many cars that had anything over 300 horsepower. Think in mind like the SVT Cobras, factory supercharged.
Right.
The 5.4s and that went.
Sure.
The Jaguar, which is the XJR, I think that's what, a 4.2 supercharged.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
What else was out there at that time in 04? What was...
I mean, you had the
there was a Z06 Corvette.
Exactly,
okay, you can't go wrong with the Z06 from that time.
Right.
That was that hard bubble top that had like the drop back glass on it. It wasn't a full smooth back glass, it was like a drop back glass. That was the way you could identify the Z06s. What else was from that time? Anything good? Any Volvos?
No,
nothing.
Pinto?
No. Mercedes?
Vega?
Any of the AMGs, dude. Just throw it out there. Any of the AMGs just come to life.
Yeah,
doesn't even matter. There was the M series stuff. What was from that time? The M6s.
M3.
Some of the M3s were even good. I mean, they were kind of that low budget, but really aggressive, and they're still, let me tell you, those things are still climbing right now.
Well, Bub, any one of those vehicles you've mentioned could ride on that Unity suspension.
Every one of them could.
And what you decided to do, you started researching this company,
mm-hmm.
And you decided you wanted to go with their product because of the quality of not only the catalog that you were looking at, but the way it was laid out, the way they identified all their parts, and the way they set it up for you. You called and had one of their representatives come out.
Yep.
The rep came out, you did some R&D time with them talking about future things that could possibly go wrong, or go wrong and come into what we're building here.
Right.
For example, the Turbonetics Bubba Edition concept now, you're going to get rid of that suspension, bring this new suspension into it, replace all the bad suspension on some of these other cars. So you and those guys sat down and did some research and development work.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice because, not only have you seen me discuss this a lot just in the past, whether it be through just media or being, by my side here in the facility, any of this stuff. I always love to go to companies that offer not just one product, but a full line of things that everything you could possibly imagine, essentially. So whether it be just springs, whether it be shocks, whether it be stock application OE stuff, whether it be performance oriented, whether it be, for example, like the Elites, which is going to be everything from the air-to-coil conversion kit, which a lot of guys need and a lot of guys prefer. Me as a builder, I prefer to do something like this. It's going to be better for performance aspects, for stancing of cars, ride quality. That's my opinion. There's other guys that would always want to stay with the air setup. If you want the more comfortable ride, you don't really care about dropping it down. But they have everything you could possibly imagine, from the stock stuff to the air stuff to the coil springs to the performance side of it, all the way across the board in one catalog. You can have it sent in.
And that was the amazing thing about it. So you called them. The one thing you wanted to do with this particular Jaguar, like you do with a lot of European vehicles, high-end vehicles, you like to stance your vehicles.
Oh, every one of them, yeah.
Unity allowed you the opportunity to do that.
Yep.
They gave you the control ride module so that there's no lights on in the dash. You're very, very meticulous about having any lights on your dash.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's, again, part of this whole, like, for example, this Jag that we're doing. So from that time, again, back to the mid-2000s, even earlier, into the early, late 90s, when the air ride stuff started coming out, it was just poor quality. It was. I mean, just face it, it was. Okay. It was great for what it was, but it failed. It always failed. You know, anything over 75,000 miles, 100,000 miles, they're done. It doesn't matter.
Right.
The bags were leaking, the lines were leaking, the pumps were worn out, the relays couldn't handle it anymore. Literally everything, all the way across the board, whether it be European, domestic, all of it, all the way across the board, everyone failed. Nowadays, not so much. You still have problems with it, but it's much more advanced nowadays than it was at that time. In this case, for the Jag that we're actually going to do, it was on factory air, it still is right now. We haven't done the conversion yet. We've got Unity sent us out a complete air-to-coil conversion, so this will allow me to not only, in our case, increase the performance of this car. It is the XJR, so it's supercharged, it's putting out a lot of horsepower. We've done a lot of upgrades to this car, from bigger brakes to a staggered wheel and tire combo, so we're going for more of that modified look. So we're going to actually use the coil conversion kit to set the stance on this car, get it exactly where we want it to sit. It's going to be one solid drop, so once it's sitting there, it's always going to be there. We're not going to have to deal with airlines going bad again or anything else in the future. So we're choosing to go this route.
And Bub, I wanted to share with everybody, you've decided to go for this particular application, the non-air ride. You're going to go with the air ditcher assembly.
Yeah.
This comes with all your modules so that you have no lights on the dash, and it allows you to put that vehicle exactly where you want it to sit when you're done.
Yep, that's a big part too, is, you know, when you do these conversions, there's a lot of companies that offer them. A lot of guys, you know, most people when they think replacement air parts, they think of R-Knot suspension. Great quality. I mean, they have good stuff as well.
These guys, man.
No, for sure. This is, if you're looking for the best bolt-on, well-designed R&D, well-tuned application that is going to be everything in a box. If you're a do-it-yourselfer and you have the skill set and the knowledge base to do it, you can literally do it with the instructions that come with it, with the basic fundamental of tools, all the actual modules that keep the air ride light from coming on, they keep the system from thinking everything's 100% okay, so the pump's not just always running in the background because the lines are wide open everywhere. It comes with everything you possibly need to do the install one time right.
And I mean, Bub, if you just look at the packaging, I mean, you've got a lion's crest
Oh, no,
here.
it's cool.
You've got
it's
colors
cool
everywhere. You've got, these are people who have invested their time. And Bub, I've asked, standing right off the stage with us here, I've asked Rolly to come in and join us from Unity today.
Yep.
I want to talk to both of you a little bit about that relationship,
Yeah.
about the R&D side. Rolly comes to us with a race-proven background, so he understands, like you, how to communicate between the steering wheel and the road. Rolly, please come in and join us. Ladies and gentlemen, I offer up Rolly from Unity. Rolly, how are you?
Doing
How
great.
is everything?
Good to see you guys. Good to
Come on
see
in,
you.
jump over there
Thanks
next
for
to
coming.
Bub. Rolly, thanks for joining us here
Appreciate
today.
having
Say
me.
hello to everybody around the world there.
How you guys doing?
Rolly's a
Thanks
little
for
bit
joining us.
nervous, but it's okay. He won't blow this. He's done a great job. He was doing
No,
great
I mean,
behind the
it
scenes.
was really nice too, because, you know, when we brought this up and we were discussing it, you know, last week, 2 weeks ago in the office, by the way, good looking guy. I mean, come on.
Real
You guys
handsome
see
guy.
this stuff
And he
right
smells
now?
great, ladies and gentlemen. You
Oh
can't
yeah,
beat
I
that,
mean,
too.
beautiful right now. You know, I'll tell you, when we were discussing it, it's nice because you don't often have guys in this industry, in this line of work, that not just guys that sit behind a desk and understand what they're doing there from, you know, a design standpoint, from a CAD standpoint, understanding how to build a product and have it cut, but also from a physically hands-on standpoint, and that is all you have done. It's really been a lot of hands-on. You've got a racing background, so you understand what you're looking for in the performance feel of how things should handle, what the ride quality should be, and how weight should transfer, and how you should launch, all the way across the board.
And that's some of the things you and Bub have done some research and development on. I've sat back and watched you guys go across a table with each other. Tell the viewing audience a little bit about your background in terms of racing and why you're interested in these suspension components and you're so in love with getting this right for your clients.
It's 17 years of racing from a young age. Went pro in 08 to 2010 with BMW. The quality and control that we have here at Unity is par none. 28 years in the automotive field, bringing these product line to the aftermarket has been an eye-opener for myself. After my race background and being able to launch a product line from ground zero.
Yeah.
Not many people have been able to do that and be consistent with the product line and have a very low defective rate. Unlike Unity, it's been very strong and solid. So very impressed with the product line and looking forward to continue to grow, be a part of the aftermarket world.
One of the things I think you walk away from, Bub, when you meet anybody from Unity, whether it's from the first time they drive up on your property in the beautifully ornate vehicles that they have,
yeah,
they're
the
all
presentation
clean.
is key, yeah.
The wheels
Sure.
and tires are clean, man. It doesn't matter if you
We just
call
need to
in.
set the stances on the vans. That's all
Oh, we
need to
do, man.
Get
We're
them
going
on
to
the
do it with
ground.
some Unity suspensions here, right?
Maybe some up, some down.
Exactly,
Exactly.
exactly. But I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're talking to the people over in the tech department, whether you just pick up the phone and call Rolly, it's consistent, man. And that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
you are, is a consistent builder.
Yeah, and that's what you get is consistency, and really that's key between, and again, just like you're saying, everything from just the first phone call or the first visit to the website or seeing them in person to all the way down to the technical side of it, and then the quality side of it, the actual product you're getting and installing. And again, this is good for not only us, but as designers and builders in the industry, but also just do-it-yourselfers. Trust me, there are thousands of guys out there that just buy the product and they just want to do it, not because they don't have the money to take it somewhere, but just because some guys like to work on their cars on the weekend. And I mean, they won't even be using coil spring compressors, so they'll be shooting springs across their garage. It happens all the time.
Liability warning right there, ladies and gentlemen. Please be careful. In the Woodward fabrication table area, Bub actually has a spring compressor that's mounted, solid mounted to the wall, and he wears eye protection at all times. Please be careful when you're dealing with these loaded suspension components.
Yeah, big time.
Correct, Bub?
Not so much the air. If you're just dealing with air, just once you disconnect the line, your bag's going to flatten out and you can just kind of compress it and pull it out. So not too hard there, but anytime you're working with any sort of coil spring assembly, something of a high spring rate, there is serious tension on these things. And I'm not talking like human strength can hold them back. You're not going to be able to hold this thing down. You can with aftermarket coil springs. Some guys use, iBox or H&Rs. When you go to so much of a drop, you can literally, like, I'll take them and I'll just push them off my hand and tighten it down. It's really not that hard.
Rolly, tell us a little bit about, Bub has typically, has a lot of experience with the IBOC line, the H&R line. The H&R is kind of his go-to for the Porsches and things like
Yeah.
that. Let's talk a little bit about where is Unity going to take us in terms of that performance market?
Well, that's one reason they brought me on to the company. You can notice here, our race-ready line is going to focus and generate on that performance application, import and domestic.
Wow.
And we are going to be able to address the European market as well.
Wow.
So it is it's in its infancy stage, if you will, but it is, I would say, compatible to, or if not better than the IBOC or HR product.
Wow.
Because I've used it both in SCCA racing, your H&R and your IBOC applications. We did find fail points during testing.
Sure, absolutely.
So with this product here, one step above, and it follows through the product line from start to finish.
From a price point perspective, can you tell us a little bit about how that's going to sit in the marketplace? How competitive will this be with, like, for example, H&R or IBOC? What are you guys looking to do there?
We are going to hit the market extremely aggressively with this product line because there is a market for it that has been untapped, that we've been able to find in not just your aftermarket applications, but your performance shops. A lot of do-it-yourselfers are doing it. A lot of your tuners are doing it now. So our aggressive approach is to come in and be a cut above our competition. And as far as price availability, for your do-it-yourselfer or the tech in the shop, it's going to give the opportunity for them to put the application on and have a solid application that's going to last.
So, Bub, as a designer, what are some of the things you're looking to feed back from your vehicles to you? The Porsches with the H&R.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go to the race-ready line. We're going to be carrying that line here for the South Florida clients. We have a lot of Maseratis, Bentleys, Ferraris,
Yeah.
Lamborghinis. That's all that's down here. Okay?
Well, so, I mean,
what are you looking for in the car?
I can throw a couple different ways out here. So for me, most importantly, and we already mentioned it once, but consistency, that's like my key. It doesn't matter if it's the way I'm building, the way I'm designing, the cleanliness of the shop. I want everything consistent. It's just who we are. That's how we do it here. But I'll tell you, it's for a company that, at least for me, from a builder standpoint and a designer standpoint, I want to align myself with companies that have a little bit of everything. So, and this goes like just past coil springs or air strut, anything like this. I'm talking in terms of tooling. There's a reason I have Snap-on tools everywhere. Literally every piece of equipment they offer, I own. Everything from the air compressor to the tools.
People have not
to
seen your box.
To my razor blades. Literally, I'll buy those just because I'm buying that same thing. I want consistency across the board. There's a lot of guys out there that feel the same way in the building market that want one company they can go to for everything. You can't get that right now. You cannot go to IBOC and say, I need springs for this sort of Mercedes and I need springs for this brand new Mustang. You can't get a full line of components offered by one place under one umbrella.
And you're shooting for that.
This is what you guys are shooting for at Unity with the race ready line, which is going to be huge for guys like myself who want consistency. You pick up the phone, you don't have to source it 50 different places.
No.
Check all different, whether it's here, whether it's in Japan and have stuff sent in. You don't have to look all over the world to find stuff. You can go one book, one call, and everything's going to come in.
And the current line of products is huge. They cover everything. And they're only getting deeper and deeper, especially into this performance stuff. And I know you've been doing a lot of talking back and forth with them about that, much like you do with Turbonetics.
Yeah.
You're very deep in their R&D department with Reggie over there.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about, if I live in Texas, okay, and we're watching today, and these guys go, I'm going to go out there to unityap.com and check this thing out. Now I want to order something. How do they get their parts from you?
We've aligned ourselves nationwide, number one. The company was, it's a family-owned company, and we do nationwide drop shipping.
Good.
So coming to the website, as indicated before, unityap.com, we can do drop shipping. We do have vendors nationwide that actually house our product. So that gives you, as far as most guys, when they want something to bolt on, they want it immediately. So we have that lined up, for our customers as well.
Good.
So I think that's a big plus in the aftermarket.
And if people would like to start getting in touch with you, let's have a phone number from you.
Well, they can call the office at 561-450-7394 and reach me directly at 561-945-6809. That's here in South Florida.
And you guys will ship it anywhere too.
Yes, sir, we will.
And Bub, I know you're looking forward to jumping in on this thing. We're going to be doing, we're actually going to be bringing that project to everybody next week.
And of course, I'm going to take this thing to another level. Even though this is ready to go, bolt on, complete package ready to go, of course, I'm going to be putting these things in and out 4 or 5 times to trim that stance.
I know you will.
For sure.
You're going to
It's
get
gonna
it right
happen.
on the money.
Oh,
man.
bet on.
You always do. You're
I
always
literally-
very custom.
I was talking about it, and again, this is with even a set of, I ran iBox on this 2017 Turbonetics Mustang because I hadn't had this set yet. So last night, I was just talking about leaving dinner, I drove the car.
He drove the Turbonetics
Which,
Mustang
by the way,
to dinner last night.
as I was walking up on this thing, I was like, dang it, that thing is sick looking.
Oh,
You haven't seen it in person yet.
it's silly.
freaking insane.
Sitting in the parking lot at nighttime,
So-
it's aggressive.
Just black, everything's black. So I'm walking up to it and I was like, man, I still need to drop the front another.
Quarter
and
inch, you
I'm
said.
talking quarter inch, like these are small
said,
measurements.
Bud, no, for that,
I've literally,
you
I've
said
pulled the
quarter
front
inch.
coils in and out maybe 4 times. This will be my 4th time doing it again. Just doing it until I keep getting that stance effectively dead on where I want it. It's, I like to set my stuff like right where that tire is, right where that fender well is, and make sure there's no scrubbing, no issues. I love a tight stance, and you can make it fully functional at that standpoint.
Right, you can. That Turbonetics Mustang's getting ready to go out there and make a tour.
It is.
Reggie's going to get it out of here, and it'll be out there for everybody to see, man.
Yep.
It's going to be an ugly machine, man.
Yep, that'll be it, man. 25 pounds of boost out of a 4-cylinder that's just raping supercharged V8s is fun. I mean, that's where it's at. I mean, and you have to think, too, that's just not only, like, people think, like, oh, you're only, especially when you think today's numbers in terms of horsepower. You think 500 horsepower. Well, I'm going to shoot for 600, but 500 is going to be the everyday 93 octane pump gas on a 4-cylinder, which seems like a small number comparatively to like a brand new Roush supercharged V8. But you take power to weight ratio, done. Right off the top.
Finished up.
Like all day long.
Yeah.
I can get way higher in my rev band. I've got way less weight to pull, see ya.
Yeah, you
And
gotta
I'm
go,
getting
gotta
like
go,
30
right?
miles to the gallon.
And I love the way you were playing with the 911. You're a 911 Carrera owner yourself,
Yep.
Turbonetics Porsche, and you were playing with one the other day.
I was trying, dude. He wouldn't
He
come
just
on.
wouldn't come on. And I was behind you, and I
I
was
was
like,
trying.
this is gonna get ugly, man, real quick.
I was trying.
Yeah, I was watching.
I was
So,
trying.
And thank God we had that Unity AP suspension tucked up underneath it that holds
That's
you down
it.
on the ground there.
That's
Ladies
it.
and gentlemen, we're coming to the bottom of this segment. We really appreciate you joining us. We're up against the weekend, right? We're up against
We
the
are,
weekend.
yeah.
We're on the road this weekend.
Yep.
We're going to actually put up a replay this week on Blog Talk Radio of one of our more popular ones. Our producer has said that the year in review was very popular, so I'm thinking about rerunning that this weekend for you guys to listen to. That was a very fun one, man. And we have accomplished probably 90% of our goals, Bub, in 3 months, the first quarter of 2017.
Yep.
And those goals were identified and outlined in that episode.
Which is pretty solid. I mean, you
we-
can't ask for much more than that.
We've been aggressive, man.
Yeah.
We've been aggressive.
I think, I really think what we ought to do, and we haven't even talked to our producer about this yet, but I think what we ought to do is, after I do this install, a complete, I mean, because right now the Jag is literally like sitting on the ground.
Yeah.
There's no air in the system
That's
at
it,
all.
it's done.
So I think after we do this install, I think what we should do is like a kind of a post-op, which would be either like a third, this is part 3, maybe part 4. I don't
Part
know how
four.
many
Yeah,
freaking
part
parts
4.
we've done to this thing. So I think we do a post, and then we can discuss not only stance of the car, the way it's sitting, but also have you go out and drive it from your standpoint, because you know how to feel, especially with your own product line, you already know what you're feeling for. You'll feel the modifications and the changes, and we'll see where it's at.
We'll do it with the GoPro and the drone too.
Oh, yeah,
All brought
for
to you in
sure.
4K from the Bubba's Motorsports Network.
If you do it and we did like a dash cam on you, it'd be like side saw it like a wall.
All you
I don't
just
know
see
why.
is me smiling, and then
That's
just
it.
the
For some
camera would
reason.
shake and it'd be over.
That would be it.
That'd be it.
The handle's great.
By the way, I haven't talked to you about the fact that I did hit the fender on the brand new 2017 Schumacher Dually.
I saw you looking at that this morning. I just walked past it.
It's
And
over in
then
the paint
can we
shop
talk
now.
about, hey, can we talk about the 67 Corvette in the shop yesterday?
We won't talk about that. We'll
2
move on
cars,
from that.
24 hours.
How about that,
Let's
ladies and
freak it
gentlemen? Because I care,
Just
right?
stop it.
How about that? We're coming into the weekend. I want everybody to be safe out there. This is your opportunity to get out there, have a little bit of fun, let your hair down. It's been a long week for all of you guys. Remember, set the day to spend, just touch somebody's life in a positive way. Like I say, open a door for somebody, provide somebody a meal, help them get across the street, unload their groceries. Anything you can do that's an act of kindness to make somebody else's life a better place to be, that's what we're looking for you guys to go out there and do. Bub, let's get into this weekend. What do you think?
I'm ready to do it, man.
You ready to do it?
I'm ready to
Until
do
Monday,
it.
Bub, what are we gonna do?
Just keep on doing it Bubba style.
Rolly, thank you for joining us out there. We
Gentlemen,
appreciate it. We
nice
really
to have
do,
you.
man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
You'll
very
be
much.
back with us
Appreciate it.
again next week, for sure,
All right.
to
Yeah.
drive this vehicle, and run it out there with us, and I'll be out there to wreck it. Pick up the pieces,
Pretty
right?
freaking simple, man.
That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, keep on doing it Bubba style. Let's get on the suspension, Bub. What do you
I gotta
think?
go work. I'll
We're gonna
finish
go
that
work
later.
over there?
Yeah, I gotta work, dude.
Yeah, but I'm just.